Hey guys, make sure you subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Mike here. We're back for episode 2 of Futurama's return on Hulu. This episode is called Children of a Lesser Bog, and following last week's episode, which was very self-referential, very meta, and felt like quite a fitting return, a few people I spoke to said they thought it was too self-referential. This episode is also definitely very inward for Futurama, and to be honest, I definitely thought it was weaker than the first one. The general premise of this episode is a follow-up from one of the original episodes. It's almost like a sequel episode that could only have been done with the time skip that this new season has kind of catered for. Kif and Amy's children are now maturing and about to actually, I guess, be kind of born properly, which leads them to return to Kif's home planet and find the kids, and 3 of them kind of survive this massacre from these monsters on the home planet. And throughout the episode, we see Kif and Amy becoming parents to these 3 kids who I wonder if they will become mainstays of the show. I have a guess they will, but not in any serious big roles moving forward. They might just appear in the background sometimes. Interestingly, we haven't seen Cubit Farnsworth at all in this season. I mean, it's only been 2 episodes, but still interesting. And of course, in that original episode all those years ago, it was discovered that Leela was actually the biological parent, not Amy, but because of how it works in Kif's species, you know, Amy's the smizma that helps the children be made, whatever. So as the episode goes on, Leela kind of takes on some of the parenting duties, and Amy becomes kind of jealous of Leela for being, I guess, like a better mother that the children seem to like better. This leads to this challenge of parenthood and Amy having to explain how much she loves these kids, which reveals that she is definitely the true mother. It's kind of a sad, heartwarming moment at the end of the episode, and Futurama is definitely great at those. Jurassic Bark, Luck of the Fryrish, Game of Tones, and a few other episodes, but I didn't think this episode hit how it wanted to, and that could be because maybe I'm not a parent and I don't relate to this kind of thing, but I want to sort of explain why I think this episode didn't work that well. One of the first things that I thought was really weird and interesting is that nobody from the Planet Express crew except Amy and Kif remembered this happening, and Amy and Kif had to sort of explain to them. Now, obviously that's expositional for us, the audience. Like if someone's new to the show and didn't see that episode, they need to understand what's going on. But having it in universe being them explaining to the Planet Express crew, who are clearly there when they show the flashback, seemed really weird. And the other thing I thought was really poorly written is Leela not remembering this at all as well, not remembering that she's the biological mother. That felt really strange and out of character for Leela, particularly when she says something like, oh, I must have been really drunk, and then she says, I'm drunk right now, which, yeah, genuinely just felt like not the character of Leela. Felt really out of character, felt really awkward. I did like seeing Leela sort of take on this motherly role to the 3 kids. I did like the design of the kids, especially how one of them had one eye, reflecting that Leela is the true biological mother. But aside from that, I've never really been super interested in the Amy and Kif storyline. I've always thought it was a bit whatever. And I appreciate that we've never really had like an emotional moment like this from Amy, and that was kind of an important part of her character in this episode, but it didn't land as well as a lot of the other heartfelt moments in Futurama in the past, to me. I also think it's funny that the first 2 episodes have not been really Fry-heavy episodes. Fry has kind of been relegated to a background character for these first 2 episodes, when I would have thought they'd come in strong with Fry-centric episodes, given that he, Bender, and Leela are kind of like the core trio, but this first episode has been based more so probably on Leela and Bender in the first one, and then Amy and Kif in this one. That being said, Billy West is still getting a workout on his voice roles. Zap Brannigan appears in this episode. Zap has got to be one of the most popular Futurama characters, just so ridiculous and hilarious in everything that he does. I did notice that Billy West's Zap voice seemed a little bit off, and maybe that's a case of A, him kind of refamiliarizing himself with these voices he hasn't done for a while, but also B, just the fact that he's aged. I guess anyone who's watched new Simpsons episodes can hear that Julie Kavner as Marge really struggles with the Marge voice, and Marge's voice is genuinely very different now. That being said, Zap still sounds like Zap, but just a little bit off in some of the things he says. I did think Zap was hilarious though, as always, and his interactions with Kif, which always have this very almost like Cartman and Butters from South Park vibes. The way he gets Kif to shave his chest and various other things like that, and just his general cowardice, and his whole character is great. It was great to see him back, and I hope there's some more Zap in this season. I think what I do like about this episode is it shows again that Futurama is very good with like continuity, and the storyline evolves over time. Like Fry and Leela are a couple still, Kif and Amy are back. Things kind of evolve, and like as Kif and Amy become parents, like maybe we'll see their characters shift and develop a bit more, as opposed to a lot of animated shows where the characters don't really develop or grow between each episode. Like they're really stagnant kind of caricatures. In Futurama, at least, timeline is moving and things are moving on and on and on, and the characters change with that, which allows for more stories like this, and I think that is a good thing. I do worry that because of episodes like Jurassic Bark and Luck of the Fryrish, which are just such incredible pieces of television that are so well received and so well known and celebrated in the community, that sometimes when a new season of Futurama starts, they feel like they have to do these heartfelt moments that don't always land, and this kind of felt like one of those moments. I'm not saying it didn't land at all. I just didn't feel like it earned the payoff at the end. Like it didn't feel like the episode was written well enough to sort of let it flow into that point of Amy's emotions around being a mother, but still good to see some development of that character, I suppose. And so far with 2 episodes, I definitely feel like Ep 1 was the better one. Episode 2, definitely a bit weaker. Would love for them to come back in episode 3 with a more Fry-centric episode. He is the main character of the show, so I would love to see that. Make sure you subscribe and stick around my channel. Check out a bunch of my other videos that are there, and I'm going to be doing one of these for every episode of Futurama that is out, so please make sure you stay tuned and watch each week. My name is Radio Mike. Subscribe, like, everything that they tell you to do on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next vid.